Hey everybody, this week is Archangel Gabriel. This is also one of the archangels of the four directions. It's the Archangel of the North, and the North has to do with taking action, applying yourself. And in the application, you begin to have some sort of realization. A lot of times we have an observation and we have an idea in our head and we really don't develop it deeper until we apply ourselves. And so in the application, in the action that we take, we revitalize ourselves or we regenerate ourselves. We are able to kind of find ourselves. And Archangel Gabriel is considered like a messenger angel. The name Gabriel means God is my strength. And so this idea of a messenger, it's like maybe, we're trying to work on some aspect of communication or being able to connect with people. But on an even deeper level, the idea of messenger is also, taking things out into the outside world. Um, but also it is a deeper level of realization or a deeper level of inspiration. The inspiration would be the inspired action, and the revelation or realization would be sometimes as we go through and we're struggling with something. It usually doesn't happen out of the blue, but it comes usually when in the middle of our struggling that we have one of those aha moments. And I would say Gabriel is definitely an angel of those aha moments. And so, the struggle could be like some task that we're doing, but a lot of times, when we're working with angels, it might be something much bigger than just, oh, I'm trying to do this thing. It might be an aha moment that has to do with our life or a struggle that we have, through our younger years, through our, early adulthood, and it's still, as we've gotten older, it's still there. And so the realization is not so much always about survival. It's more about, the nature of life or the nature of who we are as a soul and why we're here and what is the meaning of this or what is the meaning of the things that have happened in my life. It usually is a much deeper level of realization than just this is what I need to do in this like little small situation. And so I have found over the years working with Archangel Gabriel is quite profound. All the angels are profound, but especially Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Michael, Metatron, they're all quite profound. And so this idea of realization, when we're working with angels and we're balancing out our nervous system, part of what we're doing is as we balance the action activity, fight, flight, that is being balanced with vagal tone. Like when we're kind of balancing out that aspect of our nervous system, what we're doing is we're harnessing divine intelligence. We're harnessing the creative aspect. We're bringing in light. And as we bring in light, excuse me, as we bring in light, the light actually produces love. We really can't experience divine love, which is much greater than human love. We can't experience divine love unless we've harnessed the light. And once we begin to harness light and we start to kind of shift out of our survival drives and our primal drives, we begin to experience something much greater, right? And in that we're starting to experience that's much greater is we're starting to experience love. And love is the idea of providence or stability. And you'll start to notice when you experience divine love because your choices, be it that you're conscious of it or not, are starting to be about cultivating some sort of stability in your life. Like you're kind of building this stability and you're kind of building for the future. You're not just having these impulsive reactions. You're you have like a depth perception that goes much greater than the situation right here, right now, right? And really, it is a harmony that happens between you and the outside world, the environment, and with Earth itself, right? How we interact with the environment uh, is partially a reflection on the level or degree of divine love that we're able to tap into. And as we start to produce this stability, the next step is divine power or creative destruction, which seems kind of like this big ominous, like, ugh. But really, divine power or creative destruction is realization. It is the ability to realize. It's the ability to break out of our normal way of thinking, our normal way of doing things, our normal way of seeing things, our conditioned self, uh, the way that we were raised, or the way that, we've grown up in a culture, a society, and we see something bigger. We see something that goes beyond even the life itself. And realization happens sometimes just sitting there looking at maybe a beautiful mountain or a pretty meadow or something like that, but it can also just happen on a quiet morning or time of reflection, you know but it usually is some important thing in our lives. It's not about just something random. It usually has some sort of deep meaning, something that helps us to grow and evolve as a soul. Be it that we're breaking out of a pattern or we're having a realization of really who we are on an even deeper level, not just what we think, but we really start coming from a place of the heart. At some point, our mind is always sending information down to the heart, right? And then as the heart begins to develop, the heart keeps sending energy and information up to the mind. When we start to have these realizations and we have these big aha moments, it's one of those times where the heart starts sending more information to the mind than the mind is sending to the heart. And we start to live in a heart centered way. You know, you could say that we all come in with a sacred wound. And it's different for all of us, but we all kind of come in with something that we're struggling with a little bit, something that is a difficulty, regardless of what family we're born into or how our life has gone. We all have this like little wound that we're dealing with, and a lot of times it feels like a really bad thing, but really what it is some sort of difficulty that we're learning from. And that wound takes us from a place of not really being aware, and it shifts us over a period of time to a place of wisdom. And the only way that we can get there is we need to harness light. We need to cultivate this idea of stability or providence, which we call divine love. And then we need to begin to have realizations. We need to have inspirations. We need to be able to communicate outwardly, but we also need to be able to communicate inwardly. We need to be able to communicate with the soul. We need to be able to communicate with the divine. And so the Archangel Gabriel, this is one of the specialties of Gabriel. So we're going to work Gabriel, and then we'll talk some things out. But we're going to work it a little bit different than we've worked some of the other angels. We're going to do the aura, the four quadrants of the aura, and then we're going to do the materialization breath. And then we're going to kind of go back and forth. And the idea of working the four quadrants of the aura is not so much about working auric programs, but where we're wanting to clean up that survival auric field or that stress field, the part of the aura that is not about us, but about expression into the outside world. And really, when we start to strive to express ourselves in the outside world, that's really when we begin to refine ourselves. Refining ourselves, turning inward is, yes, it happens. But when we turn outward and we try to do tasks and express ourselves in the outside world, that's when we really have to get out of our head and get into the heart. And that's where that sacred wound really kind of shows itself, right? And so we're going to refine this so we can make it gentle and easy. So pull out your blend for the Archangel Gabriel. And at first, just start taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then just pause. Pause and be still. Now, your awareness is going to be on the whole left side of your body, left side of your face and neck, your left shoulder, your left ribs and hip, down the outer leg to the left outer ankle. Take nice, long, slow, deep breaths. You're on the left side of your body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Now, move your awareness to the front side of your body, your face and throat, your chest and abdomen, the front of your pelvis, down the fronts of your legs to the tops of your feet. You're on the front part of your body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Move your awareness to the right side of your body. Right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder, your right ribs, your right hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. And then the back side of the body, back of the head and neck, your whole back, your hips, down the backs of the legs to your heels. And then just pause and be still. Now, visualize yourself in a ball of light. You're inside a ball of light, completely surrounded by light. The light's in front of you and behind you. It's on the left side and the right side of you. It's above you and below you. Meditate on the ball of light as you take nice, long, slow, deep breaths. You're visualizing yourself in a ball of light. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then pause and let go. Okay, let's do the four quadrants again. So your awareness is on the left side of your body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the left side of your face and neck, your left shoulder, your left ribs and hip, down the outer leg to the left outer ankle. Move your awareness to the front side of the body, the face and throat, the chest, the abdomen, the front of the pelvis, down the fronts of the legs to the tops of your feet. You're on the front side of the body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the right hand side of the body, right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder, your right ribs and hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. You're on the right side of the body. Move your awareness to the back side of the body, the back of the head and neck, your whole back, your hips, the backs of your legs, all the way down to your heels. And then pause and be still. Okay, you're going to hold the bottle to your chest, and then we're going to do the materialization breath. So your head goes down. You're going to inhale, hold your breath, head up, exhale. Down, inhale, hold your breath, up, exhale through the mouth. And then down, inhale, up, exhale. Down, inhale, up, exhale. Down, inhale, up, exhale. down, inhale, up, exhale, 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 down, inhale, up, exhale. Just be still. You're just being still. Bottle to your chest, chin down. Inhale, hold your breath. Up, exhale. Down, inhale. Up, exhale. Down, inhale. Up, exhale. Down, inhale. Up, exhale. Down, inhale. Up, exhale. Do 4 or 5 more on your own. Do them at your own pace. Mm. Just be aware of your body. Where do you feel something in your body? Wherever you feel something, your attention and awareness is on that area. Take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths with the Archangel Gabriel blend with your awareness on your body. And then just pause and be still. Pause and be still. So let's open up the potential for greater levels of realization, right? So begin inhaling, your awareness is on the throat. You're inhaling with your awareness on the throat. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And go down to the high heart, that area that's at the bottom of your throat or the top part of your ribs, that little notch between the two collarbones. Your awareness is there as you take nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Move your awareness to the back throat, the middle of the back of your neck. Your awareness is on the jaws where they hinge in front of the ears. Your temples. Your awareness is on your temples. The back head. Your awareness is on the back head. And then your forehead. Your awareness is on your forehead. Now do your forehead and back head both at the same time. Move your awareness to the sides of your head, like this area on the side of your head. And then your brain. Your awareness is on your brain. Maybe let's just take a break for a moment. Just let it go for a moment. Okay. Do your brain again. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the brain. Now move down to your high heart, that little notch between your two collarbones. Visualize yourself in a ball of light, completely surrounded by light. And then just pause and be still. Now, if you think of the idea of realization, the other side of the coin of that is um, uh, like new beginnings or a kind of rebirth. Like you become a new version of yourself, or, you bring forth something that maybe has been dormant within you and you're bringing it forth. So there's like a new beginning. So we're going to work Gabriel more, but first we're going to do shares and questions. How was your experience, by the way?
Try to get me to talk.
I know. Like it was funny because like Samantha was bouncing around doing stuff before we came in and did the Zoom, and now she is quiet and mellow, and it's like you did a 180.
Yeah. I mean, and right away.
Yeah, it was quick.
It feels strong though.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Very. Just make sure mom's hand's raised. Okay. Someone shared the energy of this angel was intense and fiery. I felt a lot of energy in my solar plexus. The overall energy felt like a lightning bolt going through my body.
Hmm.
I kept hearing, wake up, lots of gold
Hmm.
and yellow.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, in Buddhism, like there's they wear this kind of amber that's like a goldish yellowy kind of color. And part of the thing they say about that is it's the color of enlightenment. That's one of the things they say. But when you look at the idea of the area between the eyebrows, a lot of the chakras have a bunch of petals, right? But this particular chakra only has two petals, and one of the petals produces a kind of violet, and one produces a yellow kind of prana. And it's tied to different mental functions. And the idea being that when there's an excessive amount of that yellow in the field, you're in a place where more intuition can come in. And in intuition is where the potential for enlightenment is. And so that's why they say the color yellow is, or that color of amber is associated with enlightenment. So when you start seeing gold and yellowy kind of colors, your brain and your mind is shifting to like a very deep intuitive state. Yeah. I mean, you also want the violet, but when you're experiencing that deep level of yellow, it's nice.
Mhm. Someone shared, I guess something is being realized somewhere. They had some tears.
Mm. Yeah, that usually realization and tears usually go hand in hand. Yeah.
Someone shared, I only saw white. Light was so milky white, so consistently intense all throughout. Beautiful, dazzling white, never
Mm.
experienced before.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Yeah, the white will a lot of times be like a purification of like the conditioning that happens in the body and the refinement of the instinctive responses and things like that. So it's one of the aspects that, even the idea of stress, different kinds of stress. And it's the thing that, like, when Solomon uses hyssop, he kind of does a little, I don't know, affirmation, and he says, purify me, make me white as snow. And there's these purification processes that you would do with hyssop to to clean up that instinctive, the effect of the instincts on the physiology.
I began to fall asleep during the Gabriel practice.
Yeah.
I was hijacked. Smiley face. Good shares.
Okay. Okay. Nobody else?
There was one that just came. I was also yawning like crazy today.
Yeah.
Very strong energy, lots of visuals, lots of violet and yellow. I felt familiar in many ways, could feel a presence.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Well, let's do a little bit more. Still not
Yeah,
on.
you're good, you're good.
Okay. So we're going to work it a little bit more, but we're also going to integrate it with saying the name and kind of doing it in that way as well. So let's have you begin inhaling with your awareness on the brain. You're inhaling the oil with your awareness on the brain. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on your brain. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Okay, just let it go for a moment. Just let everything go. Your awareness is on your brain. No need to inhale right now. Just keep your awareness on your brain. And I'm just going to say the name of the archangel a few times. Gabriel. 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 Go. Breathe. Inhale the oil. Your awareness is on your brain. Keep inhaling. Go. Breathe. Go. Breathe. You're inhaling. Your awareness is still on the brain. Nice, long, slow deep breaths with your awareness on the brain. Your awareness is on the spine. Be aware of your spine as you're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the brain and spine both at the same time. The brain and soles of your feet. And then just let it all go. Let it all go. Just be still. What's that? Okay, again, bottle to your chest, chin down. Do 8 or 9 of the materialization breaths. Go at your own pace. You're just being still. Now, if you want to reflect on some event or situation going on, but I'd say even better is reflect on a pattern that you have in your life. Could even be a positive pattern, doesn't have to be just a negative pattern, just a pattern. Pattern of interaction, pattern of way things play out in your life, pattern of thinking. And whatever that pattern is, observe it as you take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths with the oil. You're just observing a pattern. And then let go of the inhalation, let go of the observation. You're just letting it go. Observe the pattern again. And as you observe the pattern, put the bottle to your chest, let go of the pattern, and do 8 or 9 of the materialization breaths. Do them at your own pace. And then when you're done, just be still. You're just being still. Let it incubate. And again, observe the pattern. As you're observing the pattern, take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Okay. Let go of the observation. Again, bottle to your chest, chin down. Do 8 or 9 of the materialization breaths. You're doing them at your own pace. And when you're done, just be still. Again, you're observing the pattern. As you observe the pattern, inhale the oil. And then let the observation go. Let the inhalation go for a moment. Bottle to your chest, chin down, do 8 or 9 of the materialization breath. You're just being still, being aware. You're just letting it in. When we talk about like attuning to the light or aligning with the light, and we talk about the idea of stress, part of what happens as we, even as we refine our nervous system and we refine our psyche, as we go through and we, calm things down and we reduce our tendency to be anxious and we reduce the hypothetical, stress thinking, and we start thinking a little bit more cognitively. All these things means that more soul energy is coming in, more soul energy is coming into the form. And as more soul energy comes into the form, we're going deeper into the form. We're going deeper into our lower nature or primal nature. And part of the attuning to the light isn't just like we're sitting here in our normal everyday life going, I'm going to attune to this, I'm going to align with this. It's that you're bringing more soul energy and you're going deeper and deeper into the form. And as we go deeper and deeper into the form, there's a level of healing that's not just about the body and not just about the emotions or the mind. It starts to be a kind of healing that is healing something that we came in with, healing on a soul level. And this goes back to that idea of the sacred wound. Is it's something that even if we had some significant event in our life, it's a pattern that we have brought in, and it's usually a pattern that has followed us for many incarnations, right? And if you don't believe in incarnate reincarnation, then you could just say it's something that came with us before we were in our body. We brought this thing in that we were struggling with. And as we come deeper into the life, we come deeper into the body, we come deeper into being present and the things that are going on around us, not checking out, but being able to be present, right? That idea of attuning to the light and aligning to the light becomes more and more potent because we're going deeper into the form. And if you think about everything going on in the world these days, it would be really easy to check out, check out, ignore it, but it's kind of in everybody's face, even if you want to check out and ignore it, you still kind of can't. And how do we stay present even in the face of difficulty or even in the state of whatever is happening now, whatever is going on now. And this is that idea of attuning to the light and aligning with the light. And that's why it produces, like when we are attuning and aligning to the light, we're harnessing divine intelligence. And if you think of the idea of like the body listening, is the 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 difficulties of just being in a body, right? Just being in a form or being in this difficulty. A lot of that has to do with that we have our feet on the earth, that we're in a body and we're living this life on earth, right? So we're getting a kind of energy or information that is then kind of this primal energy about surviving. And as we go through and we do the body listening and we keep balancing out our nervous system, that energy, when we handle it in a way that is in alignment and in attunement, is how we activate the heart. The heart isn't about the things that you think about other people. It's not about the being connected to something divine. It's about being able to take that primal energy and not be pulled into the gravity of survival and chaos, and to be able to like maintain your presence and transmute that, so that then eventually what happens is the activation of the heart. So what we were doing tonight is refining that ability, refining that alignment, that attunement. And it's something that you have to keep doing over and over again, and it keeps going deeper and deeper. But as we go through and do that, it's literally how one becomes aware or becomes awake or eventually becomes enlightened, is the ability to transmute that primal energy, that survival energy, and you take it and you change it into something that becomes something that is spiritual or divine. So, anyway, if you have questions or you have shares, you can unmute yourself or type in. And you do it.
Good. I just feel like I keep getting stronger and more clear.
Yeah. But there's like a strength that
Yeah,
happens.
totally.
It's like, yeah, come on, bring it on. Like I feel like I could take a little bit more of a punch right now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Denise.
Hey, hey.
I um I had a question about when we're doing when we're observing the pattern,
Mhm.
um, are we inhaling the oils or just observing at that point?
You could do either way.
Okay.
For a little bit, I like to do it without the oils for a little bit, just because sometimes I think if we just jump right into the oils, it's easy to get more focused on the oil than
Mm.
it is the pattern. And really, when we're inhaling the oil, we really want to have our awareness on the pattern. So a lot of times I would say I'd like to start off just like observing the pattern. And like when I really feel like connected with the pattern, then I start to inhale. And so, wherever you're at with that, like there's not really like you have to do it like this. It's just like connect to the pattern and then do the inhalation. And if you don't have the oil, you could just repeat the name of the angel.
Okay. All right. That sounds good, Greg. I really like the idea of the light, and hopefully it's refining things on a
Mhm,
level. And I think sooner or later you kind of see it. I'm
mhm.
pretty sure. Um, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I mean, if you think about it, It's like everything we've been talking about for like years. It's just like maybe more specific in like how we're talking about it, but like all the vagal tone work, all the org program work, like all the different things that we do, all of it keeps coming to what we're talking about.
And it's nice if we can see a pattern, but if we don't know, like the word I think you're using is like, oh, I can't remember the word. It's like a soul thing you come in with.
Yeah, like we come in with like a sacred wound, whether that we're aware of it or not. We all have it. We all have one. And as we refine our awareness, and as we keep diminishing dysregulation and improving the vagal tone, we're able to keep being more and more aware of it. The more you become aware of it, the more that you have the ability to address it. But at first, you, you know we don't put two and two together. We see these things happening and they seem kind of random. But as time goes by, you can see that there's kind of like this big like scheme playing out, or this big pattern. And it's the idea of like when we think of situations and then we feel it in the body, and then we think of a past event and we feel it in the body. Kind of like, in a way, what you're doing is, for one, you're trying to resolve those things, right? But at the same time, you're also starting to play like your own inner detective of like, what is that about? And what about this and this situation and this person? Like, what's that about? What's going on here? Like, and what you're doing is you keep increasing your awareness in all these different situations. And as you keep practicing awareness, there starts to be a greater and greater level of pattern recognition. And as you start to develop a greater level of pattern recognition, you have a greater potential for cultivating like a kind of happiness, or a kind of like activation of the heart, and diminishing the things that, you know, cause us suffering or make us miserable or keep blowing up in our life or in our face or whatever that might be. And like, in a way, it's like a kind of like a way of waking up in the life. It's not that we're completely asleep, but we're kind of in a dream a little bit. And it's like, we wake up from a dream in the morning, but we also have this dream that's happening outside. And to wake up from that dream, and it could be like how we were raised, or how we see ourselves, or our culture, or our society, or whatever. And yes, those are things that we deal with to survive, but there's something much greater in there than all of those things. There's something much, much, much greater for us to experience. And it's us. It's the divine. It's the divinity within. It's the soul.
Go ahead, Lavanya.
Hey,
Hey, Greg. So that was very beautiful, and I felt so much light.
oh, good.
The in the first part, like before the we broke for questions, and I was like, it's such an intense light, so
Yeah,
much light, like it's
yeah,
just dazzling white,
yeah, yeah,
and it was very beautiful. And then when we came to observing the pattern, of course, I think that is my core wound. That's like real core wound. I know that. And I noticed that somehow the thoughts trigger that, like, boom, boom, one, two. And then I can see the whole light, just no light.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Yeah, you got it. And so the idea is, it's kind of like how we deal with stress. right? It's like, okay, I'm finding myself, I'm calming down dysregulation, I'm improving vagal tone, I have this piece of calm. Oh, I feel so calm. I can sit here and be so calm. Okay, now I'm gonna go out into the world and get on the freeway. Ugh, I'm in the stress state again. I've lost my calm, I've lost my vagal tone. And then the job is to kind of try to find it again. And you could say that like we're kind of constantly doing that, you know, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. It's just what it's like being in a body. Like it's, and so when we sit and we invoke this angel or, you know, whatever angel, or we do some meditation and we go, oh, I feel such peace and I've calmed down the stress and I've improved the vagal tone. And here, like, uh, I'm experiencing such, like you said, dazzling white light. And then we look at this pattern. And it causes, you know, like the dysregulation. And the idea is to kind of align those two. Like, okay, I have this experience, so now I can see, like, now I can see that that's not in alignment. That doesn't have light. That's in dysregulation and has poor vagal tone. And as we kind of keep experiencing it, you keep going, okay, I'm going to keep bringing some vagal tone to it. I'm going to keep diminishing the dysregulation. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. And then it's like, I've got it. And then it's like, okay, now go to the pattern over there. And it's like, but eventually what happens is it keeps getting less and less and less and less. And then pretty soon it's filled with light, just like we're filled with light. And in that filling of light is when we really develop the activation of the heart. You know, we activate the heart before that, but there's kind of this like greater level of like this astral activation of the heart that really comes when we really get good at being able to bring that vagal tone and diminish that dysregulation and really diminish the different kinds of stresses, you know, because as we diminish the different kinds of stresses, they're tied to even different aspects of working with angels. Like right now, we're just talking about working with an angel, and we're talking about working with maybe an archangel. But there's different aspects of the like the hierarchy of that angelic realm where there's energies that don't really have a name. And as you work the stresses, you're actually tapping into those energies with consciousness. And so we are going to be exploring this over a period of time. But, you know, even if we just call it stress, that we're just trying to diminish the stress and improve the vagal tone, every time you do that, you're bringing in light. And so when you look at that situation, like you said, there's not really light there. It just means dysregulation, poor vagal tone. So what do I need to do to get that to be balanced out so that light can come in that? And then the more that we do that, it will produce like what you would call like the angel heart.
Thank you.
And as far as this sacred wound goes, somebody's wondering just one or one with supporting patterns?
No, like our mind sees it like in pieces, but it's usually like one thing. You know, it might look a lot of different ways, but it's just because we see it more from a detail-oriented logical mind, you know, from the intellectual mind. When we step back and we look at it really from a bigger perspective of the intuitive mind, it's a pattern that is just different ways of playing out, but it's the same theme over and over again. Yeah.
So one addition to that is like to get into, I was trying to process what you said when you were in the zone, like you were seeing the sacredness of the heart or divineness of the heart and triggering before. And so when we notice that we are like, you know, there is a trigger, we are observing the surroundings, and then there is no light, we are not aligned anymore because we are triggered. And
Mhm.
now, because a quick practice would be take any angel blend and then
Any
observe.
angel blend, or even just the idea of like, even the idea of the observation itself, you're already starting to calm down the dysregulation and you're already starting to bring in vagal tone. Like, so just observing, it's already starting to shift. And so the more that we, how we observe our body, eventually it's like we observe the emotions, and then eventually we observe the thoughts in the mind. We observe the patterns going on in the outside world. So just there, it's starting to happen. And like the more that you are non-reactive to the pattern, you're bringing it more into alignment, right? And then you could whatever angel you feel drawn to do, you could bring that in. And the act itself of doing the materialization breath is your materializing light. So you're materializing light into the outside world. You're materializing light into the external environment. And so another way of saying materializing light is you're shifting and changing that stress response to all these different situations. So by doing that, again, you're going deeper and deeper into the intuitive mind, and you're bringing in that vagal tone, and you're balancing the dysregulation. And the more that we do that, we bring light in. So like you just keep targeting, you observe, materialization breath, observe, materialization breath, observe, materialization breath. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome.
It was wonderful practice. Truly appreciate it.
And I kind of love like how we do it every week because I sometimes it's a little intense.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
And so it's nice that we're just kind of like a little bit,
A little bit at a time. Yeah. Yeah, the doing it weekly, it really opens up the opportunity to delve into the subject much deeper than like a weekend and then study or something. It's like where we're actively doing it every week. And it's not like learning, like memorizing or having to figure something out from a few pages or something. It's really more of this like exploration, and in the exploration is really how we learn. And the stuff that's writing down just helps you to process what you've experienced and what you've observed, rather than taking the information and then figuring it out to go out and do something. You're almost doing an opposite of how we would do things in an intellectual way.
no, I don't hope this isn't too intellectual, but you know how we are doing every week. And for us who do it live, it's like this is our time. Does it kind of create a pattern even in ourselves to be more receptive or
Yeah, I would say like, because part of divine intelligence is also the law of cycles. And so when you have a little bit of a schedule, it makes it like concretize faster, in a good way and a bad way. When we have negative things come up, it concretizes in a bad way. When we keep cultivating and doing things that are very positive on a schedule like that, it concretizes it in a good way. You're concretizing like light, you know. If you keep having situations where you keep getting pulled like out of the light and you're dysregulated, that becomes an episodic stress pattern. And so you're being pulled away from alignment or attunement or from the soul or from the light, whatever it might be. Right. So we want to keep moving towards the light.
and then when that happens just during the day, can something as simple as like putting the oil on
Sure.
our
Yeah,
neck
yeah,
or
yeah.
on our
Yeah,
body
yeah.
or inhaling it or
The
smoking
whole
it?
product pack thing is about trying to keep that alignment, and inhaling, putting it on your wrist, putting it on your heart, like any version of that. It's always helpful. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Gabriel makes you feel strong though, huh?
I
Like, yeah. Like if you feel sensitive and it's like, I don't know if I can go out in the world, work Gabriel. Gabriel, it doesn't make you like aggressive, but it makes you like, I don't know. For me, it's almost like Gabriel gives you like confidence, like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I could take that. Yeah, I could take that. Yeah, I could take that. It'll be difficult, but I could do that. Like it's just like this kind of like strength or confidence that, you know, you kind of wake up inside yourself.
and I don't know if this is fair or even accurate at all, but it has this feeling like Gabriel knows how to communicate with us, with the
Mhm.
human, like
Sure.
he's good at it. So
Right,
I
right,
feel
right.
like it's maybe even stronger than some of the other angels because it's like Gabriel even knows how to like
Right.
tap into this vibration or
Right.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to move over to the Tuesday night prayer petition blessing. Thanks for hanging out tonight. And next week is Archangel Haniel, right? I think it's Haniel.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can join us next week for Haniel. Will feel very different than the one we just did. Lots softer. It's about like grace and love and, very soft and gentle. So hopefully you can join us, but we're going to move over to the prayer petition blessing. If you want to kind of take this and go a little deeper with it, and it's just like about 20 minutes or so. So if not, hopefully we see you tomorrow for the Wednesday night deeper healing, or next week for the angel practice then.